Staff Sgt Sheppard. First name Shaquelle, last name Sheppard. I'm the patient administrator and C2, which is control center. I work alongside one of our MSCs, which is the medical service corps officer. So our role is basically to ensure that we're tracking patients for the incoming missions and outbound missions. We look at all the information in Traces, which is a system that we use to track all the missions and the patient information, their diagnosis, and things like that. We look on there also to see what time the missions are coming in, and from that point, we walk back the time frame for our team so that we make sure that we have the right personnel ready to pick up the patients and or load the patients. And we are pretty much the in-between staging facility before patients are loaded onto aircraft. Ideally, if something happens out on the battlefield, right, or if a patient gets injured, they'll come here, they'll go to the EMES, which is the ER, aka hospital. After they're cared for there, at that point, they'll package them up basically and send them over to the IRPS, which is the en route paging staging facility, which is what we are here. So we'll take care of them here, we'll monitor them, and we can hold patients here from, it could be just a few moments, but up to only 6 hours before they have to go into the aircraft. So it's important that our team knows how to properly load patients and offload patients. Like for this exercise, we're using Humvees. So that's a little bit more complicated. So we just have to make sure that everyone is well trained. And if a patient is too heavy or if someone cannot, load the patient, it's important to have open communication and for them to make sure that they're saying, got it or I don't got it. So patient safety is important, and also the safety of our own personnel as well. Some of the challenges that we've seen so far is that everyone has their own role, right? So everyone has assigned to their own roles, and sometimes when a mission's coming in or if a patient is coming in, everyone just gets super excited and everyone kind of can overstep their roles, and it's important for everyone to stay in their lane so that things can move more efficiently. So yesterday we were having a few bottlenecks with everyone is communicating at the same time, and it's confusing, for example, it could be confusing us as the control center because with an overload of information, but there's only certain outlets that we're receiving information from that we need to pay attention to. So we had a team huddle, and today we've gone into it refreshed. And once we get the mission done, that's the most fulfilling, feeling and the whole purpose of this is to get patients in and out to where they need to get to so they can get that higher echelon of care. However, being a part of the IRPS team here is pretty much what happens after the patient leaves the EMES or the ER. So that was new territory for me. I've always had an understanding of the whole overview of the process, but actually being in it, there are a few different steps that you have to take. So I've enjoyed learning that. This is probably, I'm a healthcare administrator, so this is probably my favorite part of that, within our AFSC. So the whole point of the IRPS as well is that once we are activated, we should be able to see patients, have the capability to see patients within an hour. Not everyone is able to be exposed to this, so it is taught in an overview, basically what the purpose is and things like that, but certain systems that we need access to, everyone doesn't always get access to it. It's pretty much on a if you need it basis. So of course we're going to take back what we're learning here, but there's no better way to learn than to actually be in it and actually, experiencing it. So if anything, this experience has made me actually want to deploy and utilize what we're learning here. It's like I said, it's very humbling. It's a rewarding experience, and I love the fact that we're touching patients and getting them where they need to get that care that they need. That's the entire purpose of this, and that's a good feeling once you get that done, that mission accomplished. The JASDF, they came in. They have a CCAT, which is the critical care air team, and pretty much what their job is they are able to perform surgeries while in air, in transit. So for the CCAT team, so any scenarios that we have for CCAT, it'll be the JASDF. Exactly. So JASDF, they have their own aircraft. It's really nice. So we're partnering with them and kind of to see what their capabilities are as well. So they're able to see how we do things here, and then we're able to see what their setup is on their aircraft before we even got out here. So So for this exercise, when we need CCAT, when they need to be activated, it'll be JASDEF. So it's really important to build those relationships and have that rapport, so that it's good for them to know what our capabilities are and for them to know what our capabilities are as well. And same thing with the Australians too, right? So we're all in PACAF, and so if something happens, we all need to be able to, work as seamlessly as possible. When something in a disaster happens, that will be the wrong time to figure out, okay, what can you guys do? What can you contribute? What can we do? And what can we not do? So this training is really good to kind of just solidify what we all can bring to the fight or with the disaster or whatever might happen.